Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sunday School for this week. It is good to be here with you. Today, we are going to talk a little bit about empathy, but to get into that, we're going to play a little game. Ben is going to show an emotion on his face, and I'm going to try to guess what emotion he's showing. All right, go for it. Pensive? Thoughtful?
Thoughtful.
Yeah? All right, look at me go. All right, next. Oh, sad. Very sad. Okay. Excited? Surprised? Celebrating? Oh, angry. Angry? Interesting. I thought that was surprised when it was angry. All right. One more.
This isn't the emotion.
Okay, this has been thinking of an emotion. All right, anytime now. Yes. We're on video. This is stunning video. Confused. Weird, crazy. I don't know this.
No, you said crazy.
Oh,
Crazy.
crazy! Is crazy an emotion or a state of being? Anyway, we'll leave those deep questions for another time. So anyway, empathy is like compassion. We've been talking a lot about compassion because it's important. So empathy is feeling with someone. And the first way to do that is to recognize what another person's feeling. So for example, when Ben was angry, I might show empathy by remembering a time when I felt angry, and then I can feel with him. I can remember what that was like and maybe begin to understand a little bit of what he's going through. I will never understand exactly what he's going through because he's a different person. But to feel empathy means to feel with someone. And so we're going to hear a story in a little bit about how Jesus showed compassion by feeling empathy for someone, by feeling with them. But before we do that, of course, it's time to sing. What does the reign of God look like? All right, you ready? Here
Yes.
we go. What does the reign of God look like? How will we know it is here? There's good news for all, love for our neighbor, mercy, compassion. Let's do one more time. What does the reign of God look like? How will we know it is here? There's good news for all, love for our neighbors, mercy, healing, compassion. All right, which is a great lead up to our Bible story about compassion. If you like to look it up in your own Bibles at home, we are reading from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 7, verses 11 through 17. And so the story goes like this. Jesus went to a town called Nain, and his disciples and a large crowd came with him. As he came to the gate of the town, a man who had died was being carried out.
A large crowd came alongside his mother. She was a widow, and he was her only son. When Jesus saw her, he had compassion for her. He told her, "Do not weep." Then he came forward and touched the coffin. The people carrying it stopped moving, and Jesus said, "Young man, listen. Get up!"
The dead man sat up and began to speak, and Jesus gave him to his mother.
The people who saw it were amazed and awed and maybe a little bit afraid. They were hushed in wonder, and they began to shout, "Someone who knows God, who feels what God feels, is among us. And God sees us, and God cares for us."
And everywhere, people were talking about Jesus and what he had done. So, of course, that story makes us wonder, right?
Yeah.
All right, Ben, what are you wondering?
I am wondering how the widow felt when Jesus shared their sadness.
It's interesting in the story, before Jesus did any healing, the story says Jesus showed compassion. I wonder if maybe Jesus was remembering a time when he felt sad. And so he felt compassion, empathy for the widow. I wonder if you can imagine some ways empathy is powerful in our lives and in our relationships.
I wonder if there's been a time when you showed empathy to someone by feeling what he or she was feeling. What about a time when someone showed empathy to you?
Now, I often find that it's easier to show empathy or compassion to people that we like, or maybe who are like us, and might be a little bit harder to show empathy or compassion to people who are different from us, or people we don't know. So I wonder, is there someone in your life who might be quite different from you? You know, how do you show compassion even to that person? So as always, we like for you to do an act of compassion during the week. So this is all about feeling with people, right? Jesus especially showed compassion to the woman who was sad. So a couple things you might do. One way to show compassion is to simply be in prayer. You know, do you know someone maybe in your life who's been sad or who's been struggling? Offer a prayer for them one day or multiple days. And then if you want to go a step further, perhaps write a note to that person or make a phone call. You know, you don't have to solve people's problems. Sometimes we can't solve their problems, but it helps people to know just that we're thinking about them and praying for them. So that might be something you choose to do this week. And don't forget, your parents were emailed story cards. Print out those cards. See if you can retell the story as well as we did.
I don't know.
Oh, I bet they can. I bet they can. And a coloring page is always about the story. So have the adult in your house print that out for you. All right.
Special verse.
Special verse of the song. All right, so join me in the chorus, and then I'll sing the special verse. Here we go. What does the reign of God look like? How will we know it is here? There's good news for all, love for our neighbor, mercy, healing, compassion. Here we go. One day a woman was crying because her son had died. Jesus said, now stop your crying, your son will live again. What does the reign of God look like? How will we know it is here? There's good news for all, love for our neighbor, mercy, healing, compassion. Now, before we get to our closing prayer, Ben was all ready to start praying. Good for you.
Yeah.
We have something special coming up next Sunday, August 23rd. We know that many of you are starting school, either this week perhaps, or maybe next week. And we are going to do a drive-through backpack blessing. So what we invite you to do is bring your backpack, get in your car with your family, drive to the church parking lot, and you're going to drive through and receive a blessing as you begin school. Now, pretty much everyone, I think, is starting school virtually, so you may not even be using a backpack for a while, but it's a nice symbol of the fact that a new school year is beginning. So that's August 23rd from 1 to 1:30. Any time during that half hour, drive through the parking lot. It'll be great to see you. Ben might be there for part of it, and I will certainly be there, and Rob and Jeff, and we will see you then. Now, let's have our closing prayer.
Okay. As always, we put a hand on our head and a hand on our heart because compassion happens in our brains, but we have to feel it in our hearts. Okay. Dear God, thank you for our ability.
Dear God, thank you for our ability
to understand others' feelings.
To understand others' feelings.
Help us be sensitive to the experiences.
Help us to be sensitive to the experiences
of those around us.
Of those around us.
Like Jesus was with the mother.
Like Jesus was with the mother.
In our story today.
In our story today.
So we can be compassionate and helpful.
So we can be compassionate and helpful.
To those going through difficult times.
To those going through difficult times.
Amen.
Amen. Good to be with you this week. I hope you have a wonderful week. If you are starting school this week, know that you will certainly be in our prayers. Ben is starting school this week. May it get off to a good start for everyone. All right? Bye-bye.
Bye.